Hi everyone, welcome back to the Social Media Derby. We've got a great episode this week. We're going to review Arsenal's thumping 3-0 win over Man City in the Community Shield, give our Premier League 26-27 predictions, including the winners, top 5, top 8, player of the season, young player of the season, best signing and flop signing. And then we're also going to preview game week 1, give our predictions, kick off the prediction league. But before we get into the episode, for those watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment and share if you can. For those listening on Spotify, Apple, or any of the other podcasting platforms, please follow, give us a 5-star review. And of course, the views expressed in the podcast are just for entertainment purposes, do not reflect real opinions on anything other than football-related topics. How are you lot doing? We've got the Arsenal lads smiling, everyone's happy, got the first trophy of the season. Feeling good?
I was going to say, mate, you wonder, there's no pep in your step at the moment, huh?
Yeah. My pep's been taken, like Man City. Yeah, it's been taken, man. But yeah, we'll get into the pod, and I'm sure we'll get the banter flowing. But you guys generally happy because it was a good performance, right? Before we get into the analysis, it's got to put you lot in a good mood, surely.
It's a good way to end the preseason. I mean, me and Rhys were at one of the preseason games, and obviously taking it with a pinch of salt. We haven't been outstanding so far this preseason, so it was nice to, because everyone's calling this a preseason game, right? It's a friendly and all this. I'm glad that we ended our preseason in a positive fashion.
Yeah. I mean, if you got opportunity to win a game, regardless if it's a friendly or for a one-game trophy, you still want to win it, right? It doesn't change anything. So surely you're happy as well, right, Razor?
Yeah, absolutely. I think obviously, there's a lot of talk to be done about the significance of the game, but as you said, you want to win every game that you play, regardless of how competitive it is deemed to be. And yeah, it was a good showing. I think it was a strong showing. So it's always nice to see your team play well. But yeah, quite pleased, looking forward to kicking off against Cov.
Yeah, let's get into the game then, because it ended up 3-0. It was pretty comprehensive. I swear you lot were like 2-0 up, or at least 1-0 up in the first half. Calafiori with a great goal very early on from a great through ball by MLS. Then Kai Havertz followed up with the second goal, and then Odegaard scored. Was it a Zolis assist? Yeah, I think it was a Zolis assist. And then he did the little sat the keeper down, tucked it away, bottom corner, very nice finish. There are a lot of people, because I didn't watch the game live. I watched it back afterwards because I was at a family function. But from what it looked like on the highlights, it looked like pure domination. And normally when a team plays City, right, most teams will try and win the game on counterattacks and transitions. And I don't know, from the highlights, it didn't look like you lot did that to them, but I don't know if you guys watched the game live. Maybe that was the case, but it seemed like you just like strangled them from the highlights I saw, and they didn't offer too much. But yeah, Johns, was that the case, or was it kind of that tried and tested, win the duels, hit them on the counter attack, and finish them off?
I think it was probably somewhere in the middle. Like I don't think it was a game dominate like 80% of possession, but it was also not a game where we got dominated in possession from my point of view. So I think it's somewhere in the middle of your description. What I would just say is that like their attack looked really blunt, and ours the exact opposite. Right, like every time we got within a sniff of the goal, we made it look really easy. And I think the Odegaard goal like really sums up our attack that whole game, which is Solis plays a pass that most Arsenal fans are not used to seeing, which is quickly. Right, doesn't try and beat his man, doesn't cut back in, doesn't go down the line, doesn't pass it backwards, just runs and then passes it. That was kind of the the way I saw a lot of the game going. And then the second part is obviously the Odegaard quick touch past. I think it was Elliot Anderson, or can't remember if it was either Elliot Anderson or one of the backs. Quick touch past him, little shimmy, Donnarumma on the floor, and then tucks it into the net while smiling, by the way, because I've seen that video from one of the fans where he started smiling before he even kicked into back of the net, which was class. But yeah, that kind of like encapsulated the whole game for me, in that we moved quickly, what chances we put away, and City almost were like looking up and looking around thinking, what the fuck just happened to us? And I think the perfect example also is like the fact that we within 5 seconds. Like it was too quick for them to clock, and then by the time they realized they were too far behind, I mean, the bigger thing is like they couldn't really do anything about it, which is unlike City, because they've got such a deep. You kind of feel like they got something in their pocket, but they brought on Cherky, they brought on other players, and Cherky looked all right, but outside of that, they were pretty woeful. I mean, I saw Rhys touch pitch, which I'm happy for him, but and see pull him back out the back Rhys card in 2026 is a weird one.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I mean,
Fraser, how do you feel about it?
That was aimed at you, Razor. I don't know if you missed it.
Yeah, there was a bit of technical difficulty. But yeah, I think ultimately, yeah, I'm quite pleased by the performance. I agree with what Jonty was saying. Like, I do feel like City sort of spent a bit of the game being like, what are we doing? What's going on here? What's this? But like, credit to the Arsenal boys. Kind of just went out there, obviously had a game plan, and stuck to it, executed, and they looked like they were having fun. Do you know what I mean? I think like getting that goal that quickly, that early on, obviously it's nice to score an early goal, but scoring that early, that directly, I think showed everyone involved that like, one, Arsenal were like up for it and then we looked quite sharp, and then two, also that City were the opposite, as John's kind of said as well. So I think in that regard, it just kind of played out like that over the 90 minutes. City didn't really look like they were able to get going at any point in time. Elliot Anderson looked a bit out of his depth in the middle of the park. It obviously is quite difficult, and I think we had a discussion on the last pod about whether Arsenal are going to have the best midfielder in Prem this season. So it's quite difficult when there's people like, you know, sort of playing in the way that we were playing in that game. But obviously, yeah, like he's a player in that area of the pitch, and he's just signed to the most successful club in English football in the past decade. And there's going to be expectation on him. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on. And yeah, aside from that, I think there were a lot of good things about Arsenal. There were also a couple of things that had me kind of like eyebrow raised. Okay, it was good. But yeah, I still feel like there's lots of room for improvement if we're going to do, you know, what has become everybody's sort of shtick now, which is, Arsenal have to win the league again or else. So yeah, if we're going to do that, then there are a couple of things that I think we need to iron out based on, as Jonty was saying, what I've seen in preseason and what I've seen in this in that Community Shield final game. But yeah, looking forward to the season, as I said.
Yeah, I think it was from what I've read, obviously, that it was more. I guess it was partly the players underperforming, like Elliot Anderson, that I've seen get absolutely flamed for his performance, that he didn't do well. Obviously, like you, man, have both said, there's a big expectation. He's cost 120 odd million. You know, you're going to have to perform, as all the players that have gone for that kind of 100+ mark in that midfield and defensive midfield have gone for. They've all had huge expectations. Only been a few, Declan Rice probably being the biggest standout that's actually lived up to it. So it's no given that he's just going to slide into that team and just perform at the level. Midfield's going to be really, really hard without Rodri. But you know what? I have read a lot of people criticizing Maresca. Apparently he was left a bit of a like forlorn, confused looking figure on the side. And I know Pep's had his moments where he's been scratching up his head and doing up all kinds of craziness on the side. But for the most part, he's been an absolute major net positive to giving City and setting City up the right way, or changing the tactics to win games for that team for 10 plus years or 9 years or whatever it was. So Maresca's got a lot of heat on him too. We can't forget the build-up for City getting him as well, right? He basically sacked off his job and potentially double-digit compensation to get this City job. So he's going to have to perform, stepping in after a legend like Pep. So, yeah, I think it was a massive letdown for, I think, City fans or anyone hating on Arsenal and hoping that City would put up a fight this season. Because, yeah, we'll get to our predictions in a little bit, but I think it might be a long day for Man City. I know I said that last season and then they slapped United up pretty swiftly after that, but this time I might be right. A broken clock and that saying. So, yeah, let's see. Do you think, though, this is going to have any bearing on the season? Because we've seen so many community shields where I think Darwin Núñez comes to mind, and Liverpool beating Man City and Haaland looked abysmal and Darwin Núñez looked like the second coming of R9, which didn't have an impact on the season. Or do you think because it's like two direct rivals, Arsenal finally getting over the line last season, that this game could give you lot a bit of a psychological edge? Jonty, what do you think?
I feel like the Community Shield's really a good opportunity for you to see who still has work to do. Like, from the point of view of what you're talking about before with like Darwin Núñez and Haaland, I feel like it's more the fact that the team, because obviously you're coming into the season where people haven't played with each other much, they haven't trained much, a lot of new signings coming in. What you tend to see more is the teams who have not gelled. And because of the teams not gelling, the other team just like inherently looks good. And I think there is a case of that to be said with this, which is City looked woeful. They've got a new manager, a bunch of new players, and a bunch of lost really good players who weren't playing. And I think it's more a signal of how bad Man City are right now and how it's probably going to take them, I'd argue, at least 10 games to get into the swing of things and for them to actually perform well. That's not to say that they won't get wins, but for them to actually start putting something together, I think it's going to take a minimum of 10 games. For Arsenal, I wouldn't read into it too much. I think, to your point, it's more about the mental aspect, right? It's like City are not a team that we frequently slap, right? In my memory, we've done it twice before, but the vast majority of the times that we play them, like really close and we lose, really close and we win, or we get pammed. You know, and there's a certain unnamed centre back who was at the centre of that palming. But yeah, I think it's more an indication of like how rough City look. And I do think if I were the vultures of the Chelsea fan base, the Man United fan base, the Liverpool fan base, or the Spurs fan base, I'd be upset because I don't get to see the team I hate the most, Arsenal, lose. But more so than that, I'd be looking at it and thinking, you know what? It might be rough challenging Arsenal, but you know what? We might be able to have City here because they look rough, man. And I think you're 100% right that, I mean, Enzo Maresca, did you see the waffle he was talking when he came out after the game? And he basically said it's because 4 of his players didn't get any preseason minutes, and that's the reason why he got past 3-0. And if he's already reaching for them kind of excuses, it's going to be a rough time because Pep got an easy ride, but that was because Pep is Pep. Enzo ain't Pep in that regard, right? They were calling him Step Pep, right? Or Pep Dad. So I think he's get a rough ride with the media as well. So I think it's got a good recipe for being a struggle for Man City.
Pep Dad, Step Pep, or whatever you just said is hilarious. That's killed me. But nah, I agree, man. I think he's also very combustible, man. He was flying off the handle bare times when he was Chelsea manager. So I think he's going to have a pretty fast start or some positive results, I think. Otherwise, I know Man City's fan base, we all make the jokes and, empty head and all that kind of stuff. But because of their success, they do have a level of expectation among their fan base, however small it is, that they want to win. So, yeah, I don't think they're like overly haps to have him as the manager after Pep. So he's going to be up against it. He's going to need some positive results, because otherwise you go from, I don't know what his fashion choices are, but like Amorim, he goes from the guy that you have some hope around into disillusioned, angry Don very, very quickly. So let's see, man. Like you said though, well, I'm not going to spoil my predictions, but I'm not even thinking about City. So, I'm not. It's not something that I expect like them to prove me wrong like they did last season with Pep. Because the other thing to mention, lads, is they've barely bought anyone. They bought a backup goalie and then just absolutely spunked the rest on Anderson. I know there's talks about Buadi and a couple of other guys, but the most I'm seeing about City
Jeremy Monga from us, so we must.
Oh yeah, okay,
that.
Whatever. Youth players, come on, man. We're not going to do the Cheeto Obi stuff about that. Let's leave it. Let's let dead dogs die, or whatever they call it. But they haven't signed anyone. They're linked with Buadi. The most links I'm seeing for them are players they're looking to flog. Like I'm seeing links for what's his name? Nico Gonzalez to Newcastle. I'm seeing Marmouche and Savino in some sort of allegedly dodgy deal, like 150 million or something like that, to Tottenham. I'm not seeing things that could move me to come in and like improve this squad. You've lost Rodri. You've replaced it with Elliot Anderson. For me, that's not a net positive. That's a negative. As good as Anderson could be, Rodri's people. We were talking about Busquets convos before, so let's be real about this. So yeah, they need to get a hustle on. I know all of our teams need to buy players, but this could look bad. Am I going too far, Razor? Come on, man. Be honest with me. You're probably going to say yes because I've done this last season, but it's looking a bit spooky for them, surely.
Yes, you did this last season. I don't know. I feel like I kind of align with what Jonty said, but like I think a key bit of what he said is that it's going to take him, I reckon, if it's going to work, it's probably going to take him like 10, 11 games to get going. I don't think that they're not necessarily like looking at the fixtures that they've got over those first like 10, 11 games. I don't think there are places that they still can't get points during that time. Even if they're not playing at 100%, they still have the Norwegian robot up front. So yeah, I think everyone may be getting a little bit carried away with the City stuff, because it's like Pep's gone and like they've lost some pretty like key players, but also there's a lot of talent in that team. Yeah, like what we're not going to do is be like, oh yeah, like City haven't bought anyone, because like all they do is buy everyone. So it's kind of like there are players there. Yeah, they're flogging some deadwood for questionable prices, in some cases to questionable places. But I think people are being a bit quick to count them out of contention entirely. I don't think they're going to be as good, as refined, as slick as they were under Pep, obviously. But I think, both of our clubs saw what it's like when you lost a manager that basically changed your life. It's difficult to bounce back from. And I think one of the things that they have in abundance probably is resources. I don't doubt that they're probably getting rid of players that they feel are surplus to requirements in terms of the new manager's kind of like ideas and ambitions for how he wants them to play. And yeah, I also like we said beforehand, I don't know if the Community Shield is super indicative of how they're necessarily going to set up when it comes to the Premier League and some of the fixtures that they're going to have. So I think it's going to be interesting. They don't strike me with fear in the way that they may have done before when they had Pep at the helm. But I definitely think that like people are getting a little bit, like some of the stuff I've seen online is a little bit like carried away in terms of how City are going to be able to perform this season.
So I think it's a fair point. But can I just ask you a quick question?
Go on.
Like, what do you think they need to improve? Like what part, like positions? I've got one glaring one that I think they massively need to improve. But like, I'm trying to look around their team. I mean, they've got a lot of players. They may not all be good, but like, what positions do you think they should be focusing on? Because obviously they've got these things with, like you said, Buadi, Enzo Fernandez. It looks a lot like CM links. Where do you think they should be focused?
Yeah, let's be honest. Their CM, as soon as you take Rodri out, it doesn't matter how many players they buy. They're not going to be able to fill that void, even with a couple players. Like we've been over gassing it with the Casemiro thing and saying we might need to replace him with a couple players. But with Rodri, it's legit. If they get both those players combined with Elliot Anderson, that is not better than having one Rodri in my mind. So they can buy players, but they're never going to get that midfield this season to a position where they can be as strong as the midfield with Rodri in it. So the midfield for them is already a net negative, which I've said net blah 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 about 5 times. I've realized in this pod already, but they're going to be weaker. And then if you look at their wings, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not going to go down a razor analogy, but they've got a bunch of flirters on the wing. They've got players that like to do little tricks and skills, and with Doku, for example, but the output is not there. It's not to the level that I think people like talk about Doku. I think he's a good player and he's got like bags of talent, but until he reaches a level where his output's actually moving us, then I don't think you could just flat out say that he's got that position nailed down. And then I think the way that they've built that squad, Semenyo kind of his best position kind of is left. So I don't know, maybe right wing. They haven't replaced right wing in my mind since Mahrez probably. I know Bernardo's kind of played there a bit. Foden's played there a bit and underwhelmed. Like they haven't got a class winger on that side. So I'd say there probably. But yeah, midfield is just I don't think they can make up that gap right now with a player that's on the market that they can get that will fill the space that Rodri's created. I don't know if you guys I think their defense is pretty strong. Maybe right back is another place which
they need a new goalkeeper. I know it's a big shout, but they need a different. Not even I don't even know. Like, they need to get like a 30-day mark on the Trafford deal and get a goalkeeper that can kick a ball, because Enzo likes to do that in a build, right? I think he's got elements of that in his game, and you saw it. I mean, like they're just inviting pressure onto them because Donnarumma just hoofs the ball out or hoofs it straight back to the opposition. So I feel like you get found out really quickly, and he's a really good shot stopper. Don't get me wrong, but if you face 100 shots a game, he's letting a couple of them in. Right? He's got a bozo G in him. So I know Big Shot might not be their number one, but mate, I do think that it looks scary, and it's weird to say, but it looks scary with Donnarumma in that goal.
I've never rated him. Like and I know I've probably had like some side eye after, especially the Champions League, where obviously for PSG he had an unreal run. And overall last season I think he was good. But yeah, he's flappy, and I don't think he's as solid as some people make out. But the reality is they're not going to replace him because they've spent like shite loads of money on him. Replaced the keeper that he replaced for more money somehow again, allegedly, to Leeds. So they're not going to do it. I understand the logic, what you're saying, but they won't do it.
I think the main thing with Donnarumma is it's kind of similar to what we were talking about with Kepa, in the sense of like you look at some of the goals that he concedes and you're like, you look at some of the goals that he concedes and you're kind of like, okay, that is a bit of a banger. But it's also about like players play differently against you because they know where the weakness in your game is. Like it's not a secret. And it's not like, I don't know, when you're like a 10 or a 9 and the weakness in your game is something that, you know, defenders will try and do. They'll try and put you on your left foot. They'll try and like muscle you. But like you're not in those positions, you're not in as critical an area of the pitch. You're not involved in actions that can, like an error can lead as swiftly and as quickly to conceding a goal. And it's just like, if you've got a keeper that, I think like if you've got a keeper that can't play like out from the back, then you have to take that into account in terms of how you set up your team. And I don't know like if Maresca or even, excuse me, I don't know if the Prem in general is sort of the place for that. So for me, it continues to be like kind of crazy that they signed and got rid of Trafford.
I suppose he's probably used to the rubbish keepers as well, because he used to manage Chelsea after all.
Yeah, but even those rubbish keepers, they were better with their feet than Donnarumma is. So he had their, at least stylistically fit his plan. They were just crap at the basics of goalkeeping. But yeah, I hear it, man. Both of you are right, but I just can't. I can't see it.
One last thing I would say on the City thing is that they seem content to have sort of pitched in on people to replace those players that are a bit irreplaceable, but they seem content with them not being the finished article right now. Like Shirky's very talented, he's an incredible player, but like you can't say you're bringing him in to like replace like a KDB. Do you know what I mean? Similarly with Elliot Anderson coming in to replace Rodri, but it seems like City seem confident in terms of like letting go of the players that they're going, okay, you're not working for the project in the direction that it's going, and they're obviously very willing to spend lots of money and have a bit of faith in the players that they do sort of see that in. And you know, yeah, like I said, I think with like a Phil Foden, Semenyo, Doku, I feel like these players, like between them, they will get some kind of rhythm, and it's not like their game plan has to be fucking rocket science. Like, get the ball to Erling, let him be in some space, and pray that he does some robot stuff. And essentially,
he's a tinkerer. You like tinker. He might not keep it simple like that, innit?
Yeah, but effectively, he has to see that it's that is if it when in doubt, like Norseman it out or whatever. Like let him do his thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, because that is your get out of jail free card if you are involved with Manchester City in any way.
He seems too stubborn to do that though. But anyway, I mean, we'll see, right? Like, I think it will be. I agree with you guys on the like. It might take 9, 10 games or 11 games or whatever for them to reach some level of consistency and understanding what the best team is and style of play is. But boy, if it goes badly in a lot of those games, there may just be, you know how pressure works. Like, it will just snowball and he may not be able to actually see it through. It might get to him by then. Who knows? But it's difficult, man. It's difficult business. Like you lot said, I can't remember which one of you said it about like following like a legend. Our clubs have gone through it. Like, and some of the choices, like look at Emery now. Man's shining and he's done an amazing job, but even he couldn't handle it at Arsenal. David Moyes, less said about that. But you know what I mean? It's not easy. So even though I do think
people are saying that Moyes era, isn't it?
Yeah, it could be. I know I've seen some City fans on like the content creator ones losing it with that comparison. And yeah, it's probably actually a bit harsh on us because, you know, Fergie's different levels. But I do think they're going to struggle. Like, they are going to struggle. I think they're also underrating the shift that they've had behind the scenes. It's not only Pep. I swear, like their big like Spanish Donny in the background. That was their what do you call it?
Chicky or whatever his name is.
Yeah, their DOF. I'm sure their DOF is left as well, and they've got that fraud that was with Amorim at Sporting as their director now. Yeah, and apparently he can't get a deal done, and he's having to call Big Bro to come and do it for him. So I think it's not only the Pep thing. I think overall that foundation that they're so like that they've rightly been lauding because it's been a machine for the last 10 years. It's going through a moment, so it's not a guarantee that they'll just find their feet. They may not, and it may take a bit of reworking before they find the right formula. So, yeah,
couldn't have wished it upon worse people. By the way, 115 charges. I would like to see it. I
swear it's more by now. As well.
Yeah, I do feel like as much as certain part-time contributors to the pod will chat about, you know, other teams like PSG and Man City saving football when they beat teams like Arsenal. I feel like it is kind of nice to see what may be the beginning of the wheels falling off And you know, like real fans that touch grass, that's one thing that like a lot of them said to us said to me personally last season, even with rival clubs, like they were like, yeah, they've gotten away with doing whatever they wanted for too long. It's nice to see someone like winning against them. It's like, you know, a Chelsea fan even said to me last season that they were happy that we won the league in the fashion that we did, because it meant that City actually bottled it, and it showed that their like financial steroidism wasn't infallible. Do you know what I mean? So,
And I'll just say the last thing I'll say on it. They're going to realize now without Pep, they really have no pull, right? So they've got money, so they can go in and get Elliot Anderson when Man United say, "Hey, I don't want to pay that kind of money for him," and there's not really anyone else. But they're going to clock now without Pep there, because imagine how many of the players they got were purely just because it was him, right? Just bear in mind this is City. Yeah, the majority of them. But bear in mind this is Man City. Their history, that City, that badge, that kit, that ain't Man United. I think they're going to clock now very quickly that without Pep there, their ability to pull in players that are like, you know, Vinny level or even, you know, real stars is going to be limited. Like even the Buad one, let's be honest, they're going really early. We all saw him at the World Cup. He looks good, but no one's willing to pull the trigger on 100+ million for him yet. So it's not like they've got pull to get him. Really, the only one's in for him, right? From what I can see. So I think they're going to clock really quickly. They're going to have to spend like even crazier levels of P to get anyone into that club, because I mean, again, you can't in 20 years or in 10 and 15 years change the history and absolutely useless. So Sean Gota and all them, man, they live long in the memory.
Paolo One Chop and all that. Yeah, no, I hear you lot, and I agree. But I think it won't be like some Tottenham level season like last. Like it will be nowhere near that. I think they'll be in and around Champions League, and I think it would be a great season if they were competing. Like looking at what we just have now, they're going to have to go and splash major cash. And look at the two players we mentioned and linked with them. 100+ on Buadi, definitely going to be 100+ for Enzo. Like I swear their spending in the last like 3 or 4 windows is already over $1 billion, and they've flogged some of those players already, like the Reinders, and if they sell Marmouche already and Savio and all these guys, like it's crazy. So yeah, I think they're going to have a rough season unless something massive changes, or yeah, like Razor said, the Norwegian lad just completely. Even if he goes nuclear, I don't know if it's enough to put them in that position. It still depends a lot on the other stuff. So yeah. Anyway, let's move on from Man City. That's a crazy amount of time spent on them, considering we don't normally cover them. Let's go on to the season predictions. All right. So last season we did the same thing, so we're going to repeat it. Relegation was an oversight, so we're getting those predictions in from some of the lads as we speak, but we'll go through the other categories. So we're going to predict winners, top 5, considering now 5th gets you Champions League, we might as well do the same. Top 8, so that'll be 6th, 7th and 8th. The 3 relegation teams, and then we'll do players side of things, player of the season, young player of the season, 21 or under, and then best and flop signing. So we'll start with the player stuff to just build up a bit of suspense. And we'll start with the flop signing. Jonty, I'll go to you first. Who's your flop signing prediction?
This was a tough one because there aren't that many like truly rubbish signings that I've at least seen yet. I think Tottenham may have something to say about that in the next couple of days, right? If they go and get Gakpo and fucking Savinho, and yeah, I will change that list. But for now, I'm going to stick with hating who I should hate, which is the lads on the other side of North London. And that is in Tottenham. And I'm going to go for, funnily enough, not the one that they spent more money on. I'm going to go for Matheus Fernandes. Relegation fodder. They spent a lot of money on him. Everyone's going crazy. I've seen firsthand he can't finish his dinner. I think they're going to realise he's actually pretty wank. So I know it's a weird shout because he's probably not got as much like shine on him as maybe some of their other signings. I have a feeling that he's going to just like fade into the background No one's even going to clock it. He was even there in the first place. And might not have stinkers, but like he will, I'm going to predict he's going to leave there within 2 years.
Oh, that would be hilarious. I do agree on the fee is mad. I mean, I'm always going to, right? Because we were in the running and food chain and all that. I heard all the Spurs fans saying that, just the cheek of those cunts. But yeah, Mateus Fernandes, I think he's a good player, but it's a lot. It's a crazy amount to spend on that player, especially considering some of the other midfield signings. Like, you lot bought Bruno G for less. I'm pretty sure it was also less on the wages than he's getting paid. So it's a mad deal. So I hear it, John. So what's your shout for that one, Razor? Flop signing.
I've gone big and bold. Last season, I think I went for Vert, mainly because of the price tag. And this season, I'm going to go for Elliot Anderson, mainly because of the price tag and because of the size of the boots that he has to fill. I think the pressure do be getting worse, and there's not really anywhere to hide in that section of the pitch. I think apart from like maybe goalie centre back, I feel like those are like three of the positions on the pitch where like you can be really put under the microscope, especially when you're new and you're adjusting to the new pace of the game, adjusting to new expectations of the team. And yeah, I just feel like it's a big step up for him. And as we've seen time and time again, with players that are actually not bad players, like we all know that Elliot Anderson's a good player. We know he's got the potential to be a top level elite player. I just wonder if the lights are going to be a little bit too bright for him at the Etihad at the start of this season. And this could be the clip if he has a banging season where everyone's just like, this brother knows nothing. But I don't necessarily think he's going to be like a flop in the sense he's going to be terrible or like ruin City's chances.
Nah, don't wheel it back now.
No, I'm not wheeling it back now. I'm just saying, based on the money, based on the level of expectation, and based on the level that they need him to be in order to actualize their ambitions, I don't think he's going to cut the mustard.
I hear you, man. I think he's gone under the radar a little bit, just as Rhys joins as well. Big up, Rhys. I think he's gone under the radar a little bit because the amount of different pundits, and I should probably, this is my own fault for listening to TalkSport and the likes, but the amount of pundits that are just like, yeah, Elliot Anderson, top player, he's going to be amazing. Just don't even try and flirt with the idea that 160 million might be an absolute mad fee and he might not live up to it is wild. I feel like even Declan Rice, who I think is one of the players that like a lot of the like proper British fans love, like even for Declan Rice's signing, I feel like there was more like, oh, is he going to work at Arsenal for 105 million? It's a lot of money. And with Elliot Anderson, it's just been breezed past like it's all good. And if you look at that Community Shield, it wasn't all good, man. So I hear you. It was spooky. But Rhys, you've joined just as we're doing the predictions, bro. We're starting off with the flop signings. Since you've got the same one as me, I'll let you do the talking. Who's your flop signing?
Do you know, I actually forgot what I sent you. Can you just give me 1 second?
Man's pulling up his...
While he's doing that, one thing I want to say about Elliot Anderson, the exact reason, I agree with all the reasons. I would just say that the only reason I didn't choose him is because he's English. And to Ant's exact point...
Patriot.
No, not because I support him because he's English. My point is that, like, in order for you to really flop, people need to get on your back quickly. Like with Wirtz, right? A lot of the rival fan base were like on him quickly, and it seemed to just crush his confidence further. And he just seemed to, from my opinion, didn't get any better. I know Liverpool fans will disagree. With Elliot Anderson, I think the exact thing that you just said about TalkSport is people are going to give him so much grace over the course of the season. They're going to be, coddling him the whole time. He's not going to get people like crucifying him. I reckon if Enzo were to go there as an example, regardless of the fee, regardless of the performances, they'll be like, Enzo is the reason why this whole team is failing, right? Because he's also a bit of a shithouse and we lost to Argentina in the World Cup, right? But yeah, I think that was the exact reason why I didn't pick him, is just because I know that like everyone's giving him such an easy time, because he's English first of all, and second of all, he plays for a team that no one really cares about.
Yeah, that's fair. I can hear that, but yeah, don't worry. I don't discriminate, man. You can be English, and I'll be hate watching you intensely. But Rhys, go on. Have you found it yet? Who's your flop signing?
I went to Tonali as
right.
my flop signing
like
this year. I just think for the money and what they're paying him, maybe. I would have gone Anderson, but yeah, I've got a little bit more faith he'll turn it around once Maresca kind of gets going. But yeah, I think for what they paid, it was kind of, and if you think Bruno was probably the better midfielder out of the two at Newcastle. So yeah, compared to what Arsenal paid for Bruno and what Tottenham got Tonali for, I just think there's a lot of expectation for Spurs to improve on their level from last year, and I think he's going to be at the centre of the midfield. So I just think that's a big ask for him, and yeah, a lot of expectation for the money paid. So I think he might not work out.
Yeah, I'm with you, man, 100%. And keen pod watchers from when we did the old format with me and Jonty will know that I've been on Tonali's arse since he first came to the Premier League. So I'm going for this consistency. Consistency is important. 100 million is absolute daylight robbery. Tottenham have been absolutely robbed. Like, God, I'm not even factoring in the wages, and they're probably despicable, right? One of you lot will know what he's on, but yeah, 100 million is
must be like 200 back.
Bonkers. Bro, it's got to be more than that, because I heard that Mateus Fernandes was being offered 200 plus bags. So if they've offered him that, then they've definitely offered Tonali more. So berserk. Bro, those Beyonce concerts, the weekend concerts. Yeah, they've gone from one of the most economical, like stingy clubs when it comes to paying fees and wages to giving Fernandes 85 million and whatever else, and then Tonali 100 million. I actually think that, like, quality to transfer fee is one of the worst transfers of this window, easily. Like, I'm not saying he's absolutely useless. He's a good player, but 100 million. Like you said, Rhys, like, Bruno G's a better midfielder than him in my mind. I don't know what Scholes he's smoking and some of the other ex-pros that are all like super high on Tonali. Bruno G's definitely a better midfielder than Tonali, and he went for less, and I'm pretty sure he's on probably less wages, and he went to the champions, and Tonali went to the 17th place team. It's just, yeah, it's got
on 275 grand a week.
There you go. There you go.
That's Gabby Jesus number right here.
Exactly. That's like, that is bonkers money. So yeah, like, I have nothing against him, but my prediction about him stinking is going to come true at some point. Didn't quite get it right on Newcastle, but I'm getting it right on Tottenham for sure. And I think last season he kind of underwhelmed as well. I don't think he was good. So Newcastle have maybe done really well for once in the market and sold him for a crazy amount of money. If they can somehow convince someone to join them, they may, actually win.
That's the problem with Newcastle.
Yeah, the big problem is getting someone to actually agree to join them. But if they can convince someone and kidnap them and just, threaten them to stay there for 4 years, then yeah, they could be winning from that deal. Because Tonali, 100 mil, stinky signing. I think he's. I would say, and I'm not a betting man, that I would feel very comfortable putting money down at, Bet365. No, man, I don't gamble. Bet365.
No, Tonali.
Like, oh, yeah, he is. True. Yeah. He'll love this. Yeah, he's probably tuning in
he
right
does.
Now. He'll take the under.
Yeah, I would get Tonali super excited by placing a bet that either Bergval or one of the youngsters, the young G's in Tottenham, could take his spot at some point in the season because he's stinking up the gaff. So, yeah, man, Tonali's shit, and I think he's going to be flop signing. Let's quickly go through the other lads' predictions for flop signing. So we'll start with Io. He's gone for Lacroix, Chelsea. So Rhys, don't get mad, but yeah, he's gone for your boy, centre back. Kem has gone for Mateus Fernandes as well. So I hear it. Nash has definitely channeled some hater in him because he's gone Bruno G.
Of course he has.
But yeah, that's a funny one. All right, let's go on to best signing then. We'll start with you this time, Razor. Who's your best signing of the season?
I've gone. Can you tell that I did my predictions somewhat on a high after the Community Shield?
Yes,
I've gone with Mr. Christos Solis. I think he's going to play. I think he's going to play a big sort of role in the Arsenal sort of title defense or whatever you want to call it, battle on forefront, all of that stuff that you guys were saying last season. And yeah, we do have squad depth, but I think like we talked about on the last pod, so I won't like over labor the point, but I think the left wing point is somewhere that there's been a lot of scrutiny, and I think it might be similar to, you know, when we signed Trossard and people were like, who's this guy? We're going to get like a proper like starter left wing. And then he came and was very, very effective for us and popped up with lots of useful goals. And I think, yeah, Zolis looks like a goal and assist machine. He's on that crazy streak. He's looked really sharp in pre-season. He looked really sharp against City. And I hope Mr. Arteta is going to give him a run out against Cov and hopefully give him a chance to like sort of like have a slightly like sort of gentler sort of introduction to the Prem against like a newly promoted side at home, get like a nice game under his belt, and he can rock and roll. But yeah, I think he's going to be really strong, and I think he's going to start lots of games for us.
Yeah, I hear it. Jonty, you went for the same thing. Anything you want to add on that one?
All I'll say is that his new nickname for me is Alexis Sanchezopoulos. I just remind everyone that he cost 34 million.
Yeah, he was cheap.
Decent deal. I read something about his stats when I know Bruges or wherever he was at. But his stats from last season were crazy. Like assists, goals, super high. So he started like he's just playing in the Belgian league still. And I swear he's got like a crazy amount of assists and goal contributions in friendlies as well, which I know friendlies don't mean a lot, but he's just like a hand in a glove.
Got 2 in the Community Shield, right? Two assists in the Community Shield already, and I think he had 2 before that already in preseason and 1 goal. So he's got 5 already for us in like 3 games or whatever.
Yeah, it's a bit impressive start, especially considering he was pretty shite at Norwich. So it's a good remontada to come back to the league at the Champions, and if he does end up being your starting left winger, that will be proof that he's doing really well. But nah, okay, cool. Both of you went Zolis. Rhys, who have you gone for best signing of the summer?
I went just because of the market and how it's been for the midfielders. I did actually go Bruno Guimaraes, but I could have gone Tielemans. But as much as I hate to rate Arsenal, especially John, I see what you about Hazard. Don't like. You're lucky. Yeah.
I thought you wouldn't see that one because
I
thought you wouldn't see that one because you weren't here. But
how dare
clearly,
you? How dare you? I just think because of the whole thing with midfielders and the cost these days, I just think in terms of value for money and what it would mean for players like Declan Rice in midfield, maybe not having to play as much and just even them playing together. I just think it's a good reinforcement to the midfield Arsenal have already got. So I kind of went down that road. But I could have easily gone Tielemans just because of the price of what he cost and how effective he might end up being for Man United. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear it. I think we talked about it on last week's pod. I did consider Bruno G. The only reason why I didn't is because the fee's quite high. I know it's not like crazy fee. It's a slight overpay, and I think he'll be a good player for Arsenal. But I think I did factor in the price a little bit and kind of the team that they go to, because Arsenal's obviously I mean, for him to be signing of the season, I don't know if these lads will be able to tell me the answer. But if going back to back in the Premier League, I don't know how well he would have to perform for it to be like the resounding signing of the season. But I think he's going to be in that batch.
I think I was maybe going for impact as well, and just what it might mean for Arsenal in general in the midfield, and like fighting on four fronts. Like obviously they want to win more than the Prem, as much as you don't want to see it. It seems like they've reinforced well. That's just. But yeah, I get it in the sense that he might not have like amazing standout performances, but I just think it's the reinforcement that would like be more beneficial to the team overall.
Yeah, I definitely think that he could end up being the best centre mid signing of the season, because there are a lot of centre mids like floating around. I think he could definitely end up the best centre mid of the centre mid signing of the season.
Yeah, he'll be in and around that, I'm sure, because like not spoiling everyone's guesses for winners, but if that does work out, I'm pretty sure he's going to have a good, strong contribution to it. So he'll definitely be in and around that. I actually went for a bit of a left field one, and it's going to spoil one of my other predictions further up the categories. But I've gone for Ousmane Diomande at Nottingham Forest because I have no idea how they got him. No clue. I know they paid money. Obviously, I know
they paid a lot of money, and they threatened his family of some sort.
Allegedly, yeah. But he's one for the FM Wonder Kids and the FM players of the last couple of years. Generally, always turns out to be one of the best defenders in the game, and I was super impressed, like by Forest getting him. I think he'll play really well with Murillo. I think they'll have a big impact on Forest bouncing back and having a season like they had a few years back when they flirted with Champions League, got close to it, and still got Europe in the end before a slightly dodgy situation with Crystal Palace, which we'll skip past. But yeah, I think he's top defender. I'm kind of pissed that we didn't go for him, especially at the price. And I think if somehow I managed to predict this right with Forest, then for the cost, for the impact that a team like Forest getting them into the positions I'm predicting, I think he'll be up there. He may not win it. He won't be the favourable shout, that's for sure. But I rate that signing, and I think he's going to be a top player for them. So yeah, Diomande, not the one that Kem was screaming himself about for the whole summer until he sacked him off. All right, let's go on to other people's best signings. So Io's gone for, I don't know if he's just trolling, but he's gone for Hammer. I think he's gone to Coventry.
Oh God, he's got the worst signing, like new launch video you've ever seen before. I beg you, if you have not seen it, and what it might be one of the most awkward interviews I've ever seen happen in my life.
Io's got to be trolling with that one, but yeah, he's gone Hammer, whatever his name is, at Coventry. I swear he played for Sheffield United when they were in the Prem and they got relegated, and he wasn't that good. All right, fair enough. All right, Kem's gone Barcola. Yeah, that's a Belieber shout from last season.
I was going to say, I
hasn't actually signed.
Belieber, what the hell?
No, he's gone Barcola. I mean, both would just be ridiculous because they haven't actually happened yet. But he's gone Barcola. I'm assuming to Liverpool, not if he ends up at Arsenal or somewhere else. But yeah. Look at Io in the chat. Fair enough, bro. Not hating on you, man. If Hamer's the signing of the season, then big up. That would be a crazy.
He helped them get promoted. Then how is he the signing of the season, Io? If he was already there and helped them get promoted,
maybe he was on loan.
Maybe he's on loan. Are you doing a loan to permanent signing? That stinks.
Yeah, I think so. I think he is.
I'm going to put Hincapié as the signing of the season, everyone.
Yeah, that's definitely some dodgy rule breaking stuff there from Io. But Nash has gone Yuri Tielemans for United, and yeah, like Razor has a consistent theme with his shouts, not spoiling the rest of Nash's predictions, but there is a consistent theme there. He's gone for Yuri Tielemans. So all right, let's go on to Young Player of the Season. Let's speed it up a little bit. I've gone for the crazy youth superstar at Aston Villa. I think his name's Brian Maggio, yeah? is he 16, 17? Wasn't allowed to play
17.
football for them last year because of some weird rule, because they bought him from like some second division team in France or something like that, and he'd only played for the Luxembourg youth team, so he couldn't get in and count as a homegrown player. All right, come on, you Gunners. Where he's come from, I just love the storyline as well, man. Because I bet you none of us, I didn't. I bet you none of us knew about this kid. Like, did you? Is someone going to lie to me and say they knew about Maggio before he burst on the scene?
Oh, I thought you meant that you just like didn't know about him in general. I was like,
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I didn't know about
I
him in
literally
general.
did not know he existed until the game against PSG, where he put Pacho and Marquinhos in a split.
Yeah. Did you know?
Nah.
Razor, you had the
I
scouts
read-
out there watching him.
I heard a little something, but no. I did like. I think as well, it's like one thing because there are probably like, even if you follow all of these accounts who are like, oh yeah, Wonder Kids, and oh look at this compilation, there's probably like, I would say like 80% of them that they post end up not being that good, and definitely not being good enough to get accelerated to
Regen Lukaku.
not being good enough to get accelerated to first team football at this level so quickly, so early on in their career. Screw you, Io.
Yeah, what was he on about? Racismo,
Regen
man.
Lukaku could be both
A compliment and
positive
an insult.
compliment and a
Yeah.
diss at the same time. I don't know which one you mean.
Yeah.
You know,
No, but
come on. You know which side
looks-
of the fence stands
looks
on this
good.
one.
He looks cold. Please continue.
Yeah, man. Honestly, that Regen Lukaku thing is despicable because some of the touches he had in that Super Cup, or whatever it's called, and the way he absolutely ragdolled both Pacho and the other centre back. I know Lukaku's got this thing about him being a unit or whatever, but I never actually thought that he was that player. I mean, maybe we'll ask Rhys as well because he's played for both of our clubs. But when he played the best for us in a very short space of time that he was there, was balls over the top, like playing through balls, having him run onto it. Like he wasn't actually like a big bully that would just like dominate centre backs in that way. And when he did try and play like that, he was useless. So this Maggio kid is showing me something different. Obviously, he's mad young, and to Razor's points about the compilations on the Wonder Kids and that, it doesn't often work out. But I'm moved, man, from what I've seen in this short space of time, and the fact you're seeing rumors that they may sell Watkins now. Crazy. Like if they're looking to sell Watkins, that means they're banking on Maggio, because don't lie to me and tell me they think Abraham's going to do shit. They're banking on Maggio, man. 100% that is a Maggio decision.
Bro.
Nah, bro, you
What do you mean? 65.
yeah. They might play together, bro. They could play together. Let's be real. Nicholas Jackson's playing well, like in a kind of playmaking role.
That would be such
That'd
a
be a
crazy
mad link
front
up.
two. My God.
Yeah.
That would work.
Oh, man.
Probably
Yeah, it would work. It would work, man. Yeah, I was going to say madness is based on my love for Brian Brobby last season, but
I was just
Maggio's
about
the
to
guy
ask,
this
have
season.
you found your new Brian Brobby? And I think you have.
Bro, Maggio is
I
the
feel
guy.
like that
Come on, son.
even that's harsh because like I get the Lukaku comparison.
Robbie's
just 'cause
good.
he's thinking. But from the point of view of like who does he reminds me of Marseille Didier Drogba. You know, like when he was mobile, like when he run to the ball, when he was going in behind defenses and bullying defenders. Like, that's kind of the style that I see him play. He's only 17 and he's already like 6'5" or something. He's honestly got all the tools. I know that he just took a knock though, so I'm hoping he's not injury prone. My God, like I mean, especially in these like times, it's slim pickings for really like class strikers these days. So to see someone come through with all the tools like that is just it's mental.
Yeah.
And I hope that Aston Villa don't ruin him. They did the old what was the Colombian Don?
John Duran.
John Duran. Yeah.
You can't blame Villa for that. That man's a head case. But no, Maggio, yeah, he's the boy. And the beauty of him being at Villa is we all know that we can go and buy him from them later on in a couple of years' time. So, yeah, inshallah. All right, Jonts, who's your pick for Young Player of the Season?
Oh, come on now. You know who it is. It is, he's being linked apparently by, I don't even know who, to other clubs. I've seen other clubs really going head over heels for him. Oh, his mom apparently. Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, he's being linked apparently with different teams, but he's not going anywhere. And you talked about Bruno G. One of the big reasons I didn't put him signing of the season, because he's not going to play every game, mate. You know, he's going to play some of them games. Miles Lewis Skelly, or as I like to call him, Miles Lewis Shelley. He's about to get real Shelley in the dance out here. So yeah, it's MLS, and if he doesn't get it, it's a fucking disgrace. How about that?
All right, I hear it. Razor, you've very predictably gone for the same thing. Anything you want to add on that? You shouted out Majo too, though, so you know ball for that.
I did shout out Majo, but no, there's a lot of young talent in the Prem this season. But I actually think Miles, I think because Miles has been involved in the Arsenal first team setup for a bit now, that his age gets overlooked. Like, we're all having like these dramas and these discussions about like where Ethan's going to play, and people obviously look at like Marley Salmon and like Max Dowman as like the very like young players in the team, and they kind of seem to forget that you've got like a teenager there just quietly getting on with it. There was a lot of discourse last season about, you know, where he was playing, him not getting minutes at left back. Some of us, if you run the tapes, said that we're trying to get him sort of ready for that like sort of midfield role, because that is his actual position. And I think seeing him play, you know, in the Community Shield in that position, playing in midfield a couple times last season, some of the preseason cameos that he's had in midfield, he looks absolutely excellent. And I think it's really spooky hours if we've got centre midfield depth at the quality that it looks like we do. So yeah, Miles Lewis Shelley, bang bang.
Yeah, fair enough. You know what? He played really well in the Community Shield. It's not only like, you know, obviously in the group, everyone was going crazy about the through ball for the first goal, but it's just, he's elusive, man. You know, when we had this conversation before in the group and we had difference of opinion about whether he's silky or not silky, like that's all doesn't matter to me. The thing is, you just can't shift him off the ball. And it doesn't matter if it looks whatever way, he's just going to drive with it. And I think, yeah, midfield, Lewis Skelly, he's solidified. He's going to be in that midfield, and it's going to be difficult, I think, for Arteta to make big calls in big games when he's actually got the three of those players fit. I think it's easy light work to just chuck Zubimendi at the end of the bench, but those three, I think it's going to be difficult, man. Because if Lewis Skelly keeps up the form, he's not going left back. So yeah, I hear it. All right, we've got some messages, some comments from Charles talking about, do you think Man City's churn going on has anything to do with 115 charges?
It definitely does.
Yeah, I don't know what you, man, think. I think it does, but I think it's less on the side of players wanting to leave because of the charges and more the side of City have to actually like fake looking like they want to balance the books a little bit. Because they've spent crazily, and I think they need to recoup. So they're like, if you look, a lot of the players they're shifting, it is, to Razor's point, a lot of like deadwood players on the periphery. So I don't know if it's maybe the Rodri one, maybe the Pep leaving has more something to do with those charges in my mind. But some of these peripheral players, I don't think.
You can see a bigger effect, I think, more on their recruitment as opposed to who they're getting rid of. Like, there are players out there that they could buy that are like ready-made, that are 25, 26, that have been going around, right? Like they could easily be going out and getting players like, you know, all these links with like Tchouaméni and whatever else. If Man City were really serious about winning now, they'd be going and getting involved in it, right? Like apparently they got offered Vinny as well, and they said, "Nah, I'm all right." So I do think you can see from their recruitment, they're going after a lot of really young players, locking them into long contracts. I think that may have something to do with some of the charges that are coming along, because it's been a long time now. And yeah, I think if they end up getting relegated to like League One or whatever, as I hope they do, they're going to need some of them young players. And I mean, like Buadi as an example, when you've just lost Rodri, why are you getting an 18-year-old? Like, you need to be going and getting a certified 26-year-old. So there's something weird going on for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Charles also says, since we don't seem close to get elite level talent, my hope is Max for the Stardust this season, just like a little man did all those years ago in 2009 at Barcelona. Chill, bro. Relax yourself. You know what I mean?
To be honest with you, you can say that
comparison.
a little man that did all those years ago in 2009, you might be Messi, but I remember a little man that played for us in the centre of midfield that played quite well against Barcelona, and I think you might want to hope on MLS, my friend, because MLS might be able to do what Jack Wilshere could not from a longevity standpoint.
Either or, whatever our boy Charles _87 is saying here, if he's going Messi, he's on the budge. If he's talking Jack Wilshere, he can do better in life. So aim higher than Jack Wilshere, please, bro. Come on, man. Have respect for yourself, Charles.
I think you're wrong on both counts. How about that?
Nah, man. that means I'm definitely right on this one. All right, we've delayed Rhys way too long. Who's your young player this season, bro?
Don't mind me. Just this Arsenal glazing. Let it continue.
I'll just say Escobar and get on with it.
Oh my gosh.
You need more fans, mate. If you had more fans, they could actually come in and ask us some questions.
I know. Where's all the Chelsea fans? We need to get them in the get it, man.
We're out chasing minorities.
Oh, Lord.
Allegedly.
No comment.
Thank God for our disclaimer, man. Thank God for the disclaimer.
Yeah, I couldn't think really about this one, but I went Kroopy, but I went early because I didn't realize he's out for like 4 months. So yeah, I don't know. I might have to void that one, or maybe. I think he's got it.
4 months is not long enough, bro.
I think he's capable of having a good year, but Bournemouth are in Europe, right? Yeah, so I think, yeah, if he can stay fit, I think he'll have a good season. I'll keep it. Funny. Yeah, I'll
don't let him rattle you.
I know. Yeah, I'll keep it to that for now, but we'll see. I was going to.
Kroopy's a good. Yeah. I hear it. Sometimes you got to throw some bias in there, but don't worry, you can do that on the next one. But Kroopy, 4 months. I know it's a big chunk of the season, but there's still 6 more months. And from what we saw last season, I don't think it's a crazy shout. He was a baller last season, so he could definitely come back and help that Bournemouth team do well, both in England and in Europe. All right, let's quickly go through the rest of the lads' predictions. I was also gone for Lewis Skelly. Kem's gone for Ngomoa, which shock horror. Nash again, he's gone for Kobe Mainu, which I don't even know if that's allowed, because I swear he's got to be on the edges of 21, but we'll allow it for this case. I'm sure he's just about in there. But yeah, Lewis Skelly probably is the most commonly voted for player, but yeah, I hear it. Player of the season then. I'm going to get mine out the way real quick. It's going to be the only Bruno that I recognize, Bruno Fernandes. Back-to-back player of the seasons. I don't think he'll quite break his Premier League record, although it would crack me up if we got to do that all again and, piss off the Arsenal fans if you win the league and everyone's talking about that. But you know what? I think he'll have a great season regardless. And yeah, I think Bruno Fernandes, probably this is going to be the last one of his like top seasons for us. Either he stays with us after that and there's a bit of a decline, or he leaves after this season. So hopefully it does come true from my perspective, so he can go out with a little bit of glory, considering he hasn't been able to win many trophies or do anything that you kind of would hope he would do. But yeah, I'm going Bruno Fernandes to back it like Arsenal with the league. Rhys, since you were the last one on the last one, get your Chelsea propaganda in. Who's your player of the season? Shout.
Going for my number 9, Mr. João Pedro. Listen, he is ready. I was there on Saturday. I saw him. I saw him at work. I saw him cooking with Morgs and Cole Palmer. Our number 9 is coming. Yeah, absolute pause. But yeah, no, I just think 1 game a week, 20 goals last season. I don't see why not. We haven't had a decent number 9 since, I think, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. So he's coming to snatch the shirt, bro. No, real. Like, I think we've been cursed ever since we gave the number 9 shirt to Steve Sidwell.
I just forgot Drogba.
Drogba was never 9. He never wore the number 9 shirt.
Ah, okay. You're going off the actual squad numbers. I thought you meant like centre forward. I was like, the grief you gave us about the Drogba shout.
No. No Drogba disrespect will be coming from this side. I just think he's ready to have a good season. Uncle Shabby's going to be cooking, and I just think 1 game a week is enough, to we saw what Bruno did at the end of the day. So I think if he can find those levels of form and find some good chemistry, I think we'll end up going in with a back 3 as well. So we'll create a lot of chances from wide spaces. So I think he's going to have a good season. And I've no bias really in any of my predictions except this one. So it's got to go in somewhere. Yeah. As long as he has a better season than Gyökeres, then
That's a guarantee. All right. Fair enough. You've gone João Pedro, slightly biased, but I hear it. Definitely your best player last season. So with Morgan Rogers and Cole Palmer, you got to hope that he can perform well. Razor, who's your pick for player of the season? This one's fun.
Unlike Rhys, I have gone with zero bias whatsoever and instead gone with the complete intention of irritating Aya. I hope he's still watching. And my player of the season prediction is Martin, show me how you get down, Odegaard, aka Captain Fantastic. Martin Odegaard, I think he looked really sharp for Norway during the World Cup. I think he's looked really sharp for Arsenal in pre-season, and he looked unbelievable. He looked almost like the old Martin in that Community Shield game. So I'm going big, and I'm going early, and Martin Odegaard. I think everyone's been talking about like Arsenal have to win, Arsenal have to do that. It's like for us to do that, like someone out of our very extensive now player list has to kind of step up and make things tick. And I feel like, it's going to need to be him. Do you know what I mean? So, a little bit of hope, a little bit of cope, a little bit of irritating IR, all Martin Odegaard. More armpits pending.
Yeah, a little bit of recency as well, but I hear it. He had a good World Cup and he was definitely good in that Community Shield. So, okay. Bit of a crazy one, but I hear it. Jonty, who's your pick for player of the season?
I regret what I did because I went for the boring route of just saying Erling Haaland because I couldn't think of anyone else. I think it's more up in the air than it ever has been before. I'm sorry, but Bruno Fernandes, if Sesko keeps having one of these mystery injuries like De Ligt apparently has had for a long time, and we know what happened to Malacia before, he may not have anyone to hoof the ball to over and over again and spam crosses. So from that point of view, you might struggle unless Brian Mbeumo grows about a foot in height. So I think it's not going to be Bruno. João Pedro, that would rely on Chelsea being good this season, which I think is a big if. And so, I mean, I know Arsenal, from our point of view, no one's ever going to give it to, they should give it to, which is either our centre-backs or our goalkeeper or our defensive midfielder, because they're not sexy attacking positions. And from a attacking point of view, the only real candidate I see us having outside of Martin Odegaard is Saka. And he's, I mean, talking about annual leave, I actually want him to take 2 weeks of annual leave in between the games he plays because I'm worried about him. So if you don't play a lot of games, I don't see you getting it. So I just went for the boring option. And now I wish I'd said Gyökeres.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you should still be eligible for flop signing, even though it's the second year. But yeah, all good.
No, if we're doing
all
that,
right.
I would like to bring a certain German living in Scousland back to the table.
Oh,
Yeah,
of course.
fair enough. I can't argue with that one either. All right. Yep. I was irritated but not mad. So we got some work to do, lads. All right, let's keep this going. All right. Since relegation was a bit of a late addition because, yeah, I effed it. Let's start with the winners on the team side, lads. Every single person has gone for the same thing. We've all, some regretful, some, honourable, some gas, but everyone's gone for Arsenal. One person went for the Arsenal. Well done, Razor. But we're all going Arsenal. So we're essentially saying for the first time in I don't know however long, right? Something that even Wenger wasn't able to do. Arteta's going to be able to go back-to-back in the Premier League. This should get Io mad, right? Mikel Arteta achieving something that Papa Weng's, his unofficial godfather, wasn't able to do and go back-to-back in the Premier League. I hear it, and I think it will happen. I think it'll be partly down to Arsenal and the signings. The few signings you've made, I think, have been good. And also partly down to the rest of the pack not improving and either standing still or getting worse. But I think it's made for you guys. I'm not going to say you must and all that bollocks, Twitter bollocks, but I think you guys are rightfully the heavy favourites. I didn't want to say it before the summer because obviously you don't really know what signings are going to happen, what managers are going to join the league. But I think the way things have shaped up, that was my logic. I don't know if any of you guys have got anything else to add, considering we all went for the same team.
I just want to add one thing. We have gone back-to-back before in 1933, 34 and 35. So fuck you guys.
Almost 100 years. So it's about time.
I also wanted to add that Io wasn't
he's definitely fuming
about the whole Wenger thing. Now, if he wasn't annoyed about that, he's going to be super fuming when it becomes a fact that Martin Odegaard is more of an Arsenal legend than several of his favorite midfielders and players from eras gone by. So, what a time to be alive. Do you know what I mean? Should we continue with the other?
If he is upset at us winning twice in a row, the non-existent red membership must be revoked.
I told you.
If he's going to choose his favourite,
waiting for an invitation to the
noughties, if you're getting upset because you have to watch Martin Odegaard lift it twice in a row, you're not a real fan. I hope you're in the
you guys were just finally kind of coming together after last season and all the trials and tribulations, finally seeming to get on the same page. And I love that the prediction episode has smashed that invisible wall straight away. All right. Rhys, do you want anything to add apart from, stopping yourself from dry heaving? But Arsenal to win, yeah? You also went Arsenal.
Not really. I don't really want to add anything, to be honest. Nothing.
How you feel.
Nothing that hasn't really been said before. They're probably in the strongest position, and everyone else is in transition. So it just makes sense that they go and win it again. I was fuming right now.
He's livid.
It's obvious. The question is, can they go and win more than the Premier League with this current squad? So but I think the Premier League is a given right now with how everything's unknown. I think Maresca will take time to get going. I feel like Liverpool haven't really replaced Salah, and they've just lost Curtis Jones. So I think they need to do some business in the transfer market.
What a loss that is, my friend. What a loss.
Me.
Ratatouille's gone. Oh my
How would
God.
defend yourself, Io? Why are you texting on the?
Oh, I never.
Bro, I'm not
thought
gonna lie.
Curtis Jones,
I
bro.
weren't reading no comments. I was laughing at you saying that they just
Curtis
lost
Jones.
Curtis Jones.
Oh,
I said
madness.
it so
Honestly, man.
seriously as well.
Crazy.
Lost Wataru Endo. Oh my God. How are they going to survive?
Well, they
I'm
haven't
not
got
gonna
a lot of
lie.
options.
Endo's a bigger loss. Endo's a bigger
don't
loss.
have a lot of
Curtis
options,
Jones is
so-
balls, mate. Terrible player.
They don't have a lot.
They
of
won with
options,
that, bro.
so,
35 million.
They've still
robbed
got to
Inter.
replace him. They've still got to replace
Yeah.
him.
Bro, you could go and get players from your youth team and they'll do better than Curtis Jones, man. I don't know what you're talking about. That is a great deal. He's fighting with his teammates about having the armband in a friendly. Come on, man. That is a major win for them. But I hear you.
Yeah, I no, but my point is
The side point's right,
My-
though, because they've got
the
Munoz.
point I'm
Who the
making
fuck
is they
Munoz?
haven't invested or reinvested enough. So that's all right. Whether he's good or not, he's still a player down than what they had before. That's the point I was making. Like whether he was a
Yeah,
failure or not.
I hear it. They
Yeah,
definitely
I
haven't
just
done
feel like-
enough business, yeah.
I just feel like everyone else is in transition, and you just don't know what you're going to get until like 10 to 15 games down the line. But with Arsenal, you kind of know, and it kind of looks like they might do things a bit differently now, and there's a bit more confidence in that team. So like I said, I hate to say it, I don't want to see it. I think I'd rather anyone else in the Premier League win the Premier League but Arsenal, if I'm being brutally honest. But
I just think, right, if you didn't spunk 2 billion and go through like 15 managers, you could have been with us here.
I still think they'd have got it wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the way you've won. That's the way you've won leagues before. So, they've just done it stupidly compared to your previous ownership. But I hear it. We're all saying Arsenal through gritted teeth. All right, let's go top 5 then, because there is quite a lot of variation with this. So, Jonty, who's your top 5? So obviously we've all gone Arsenal first. Who's your second through to 5th?
Yeah, so I went City to come second, just because I think to the point of transition, then I just look at the strength of the actual individual players, and I just think man for man, Man City still have a better team than the rest of you lot. So they've still got the robot up front. I mean, if that's a guaranteed 25 goals, then you lot have to work to get ahead of that. So I've got them second. I've got Man United third, because I do think you're the most settled out of all of them. You're in transition, but I think Carrick at least has he knows his team a bit better than the rest of you lot do. And I think from a man-to-man perspective, your team is still pretty good. How you're going to handle with European football and all of that, I'm not sure, but I'm relatively confident that you'll go out of all the other competitions quite quickly anyway. So you'll be back to 1 game a week by January maybe, and then you can go for a nice little kind of push up the table. So I'm going at third. Chelsea, I've gone 4th, just because I think Xabi Alonso is a good manager, and he's going to be the only one out of the ones that we've seen actually tune out of your team. And you've obviously again gone and made more signings. So, and these ones have not been completely ridiculous, right? Outside of Jordan Henderson, haven't been absolutely dog shit like the rest of yours in previous years gone by. So I've gone Chelsea 4th, and then I've gone Liverpool 5th, just because, again, off the strength of the team, they're still a pretty good side. I don't think they've got depth, but I do think they've got a manager that can, right? And you can, even if they don't make a bunch of signings, I still think they can get a better tune out of a lot of the players that they've got already. If they get a couple of key injuries here and there, I think they could drop down the table, but I think the strength behind them is actually not that strong. I know people are going big on, Spurs and all of these lot. I mean, he's going to get sacked halfway through because he's going to blow up, and all of the players are going to be for nothing. They're going to bring in some random player, some random manager that plays a fucking 3 at the back, and it will have all been for nothing. So I think Liverpool will nick it at 5th.
All right, so you've gone City, United, Chelsea, Liverpool. So the traditional top 5, just in different positions. All right, Rhys, what's your top 5? second through to fifth. You're on mute, bro.
Didn't realise I was muted. I went City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and then Spurs. Yeah. No, I can't lie. I had a conversation with my brother who's a Spurs fan, and he told me Spurs would finish above Man United. So it's actually his. I was actually going to put Man U in there, but he told me, nah, Spurs are. Yeah, so I'm off. So Alan, that one's for you, bro. Yeah, nah. Yeah, I think City will take some time, but I do think they should maybe get second. Liverpool, maybe. I still think Andoni Iraola is good at working with what he's got. So I do think that will sort of... I think it will come together later on, like in the season, maybe, for him. And yeah, so then obviously I went Chelsea 1 game a week. I was praying for top 4 last season. And you lot were trying to throw me in a title race in November. I don't know. And then look how that ended. So no, yeah, we top 4, 1 game a week. João Pedro and the rest of the uncles in the team. Yeah, hopefully. And then, yeah, Spurs, just because I'm just going to say 1 game a week as well, maybe. And the amount of money they've spent, it could come together. With the City rejects as well. You never know.
Yeah, but let's be honest, it was brotherly love, that selection. I hear it, man.
100%.
I hear it. I understand. All right, cool. So you've gone similar too, but just swap out United for Spurs and then a bit of a rejig. Razor, what's your second through to fifth?
Quite rogue. I've gone United, City, Chelsea, Liverpool. In that order, obviously. I think we are potentially... I don't think United are going to be fantastic. And I think where they may suffer, as Jonty was saying, is getting knocked out of domestic cups and potentially even European contention quite early. But I think they will use that as like they'll have enough around them to do well and be like stronger in the Premier League this season. Is just like the general vibes that I have around that. I think City are gonna have, like as we discussed, that maybe like that sluggish, slowish start where they're not able to like sort of like figure it out straight away. And I just see that taking them maybe a little bit too long in terms of them pushing for like challenging really to be in the title race. But I think like they are gonna have a battle against those teams around them. And then the thing that made me think, you know, United in second is just that I can't. I think even when United have been, you know, like having like quite poor runs of form and runs of seasons, like in a head-to-head sense, they tend to like bring the fight to City always. So I think just thinking about that 6 points that I think could be the balance between those kind of places, I think like that is something that I was just sort of leaning towards. And then, yeah, I think Liverpool will start to work it out. I think Chelsea having 1 game a week, I think like this is their like slightly stunted version of what United did last season, finishing there. And I think Liverpool will start to work it out. I think it really depends on their squad depth and injuries that they have. If they pick up any more injuries, they're kind of like fried based on the business that they've done so far this summer. So yeah, with Liverpool, I just feel like they've got, and like assuming everything goes well from a Liverpool perspective, and I would hate that. But if it did, then like I think they're going to have just enough to kind of be in and around that 5th place.
Yeah, I hear it, man. I've gone actually quite similar to you. So second, I've gone United as well. I've gone Chelsea for 3rd. I've gone City for 4th and Liverpool for 5th. And I'm not going to lie, if Liverpool make some actually good signings on the wings, I think they could even get 4th from City. I hear what Jonty's saying about some individual players that City have got, which are still best in the league type level. I'm thinking Haaland and a few others. But I just do think the managerial factor will play a role. And you man know I love Iraola. And as much as I hate Liverpool, I think he'll figure it out. It's very much contingent on the signings they make. if they don't make more signings in the right places, then they could be in a bit of a struggle with a few of the other teams that I've got predicted for 6th, 7th, and 8th. And yeah, really agree with a lot of the things that Razor said about United. I think they'll kind of get second a bit by default, in that there'll be a pretty big gap between Arsenal and United. There won't really be a big title race per se, but they'll just about get second place. But even that, I think is kind of ropey. If we don't end up getting Belabor, if we don't get a left back, then I think we could easily be in that top 4 mix. And Chelsea could get second. As much as I know Rhys is going to be happy to hear this, it's not only based on the one game a week that I think Chelsea are going to do well. At the beginning, I was very unsure about this Xabi Alonso stuff, but the more time passes and seeing some of the highlights and some of their friendlies and stuff like that, and just like the things that are coming out of Chelsea, I think he's going to actually work at Chelsea, Xabi Alonso. And I think, the one game a week thing will help, but I think it will more be about getting the players on side, getting Rodgers, Palmer, and João Pedro firing. And if they sell Fernandes, I think it will actually be a positive for them. And they'll go and get a midfielder that works well with Caicedo. So, yeah, man, I think Chelsea are going to be good this season.
Yeah, definitely. I think the main thing is that he's been backed, like, with the players he needs, and I think he's a very capable manager. I mean, watching us, I know it was a friendly against Real Sociedad, but I did think with the back three and like the way we were playing, the players looked a lot more confident. So I have high hopes. He's a very capable manager. I think you can't look past what he did in Germany and like the efforts like he put in that season. Hopefully I think if he can get the like you said, the players on side, which he seems like he has, he's been allowed to sort of tweak the team to what he wants. He's been allowed to bring in experience. I think we've got quality options at wing back. We've got a partner for Levi Colwill. And I think a back three really limits Fofana's deficiencies as well. I noticed that. So I think there's a lot of options that we have got. I don't know where Io was going with Lacroix. Flop side. I will be pulling that up at the end of the season. Don't you worry, mate.
The craziest delayed crash out ever.
I know. You know me. It takes a minute to process my thoughts. I've got a lot more hopes. We had a lot of players rested as well. And like I said, if we can, I'm a bit indifferent about the Enzo Fernandez thing. Whether he goes or stays, I'm not really bothered. He was booed quite loudly on the weekend, which was quite interesting because then they were singing his name. So I think if he goes, then we have a chance to bring in a partner for Caicedo, maybe one that works better with him in terms of that double pivot, because he's not going to be able to get forward if we go with a back three. But I think if not, then we're just going to have to make it work. I will. Receipts, cap cut, Jonty, you're going to have to bring me in, man. But hopefully we just kick on this season. I think last season was very embarrassing. And I think up until January, if you'd have told me in January where we would actually finish, I'd be fuming. And I'd say you were smoking rocks, but we're here and we're in this position. And then, let's see where we end up. And we'll see how long it takes you to put Lacroix in your fantasy team, Io.
It's coming. It's definitely coming, man. When he starts to fall behind, he's going to start pulling through.
I don't even want to see him in there, Io. But,
oh man, jokes. Now I think I've heard some of the stuff that some of the players have been saying about the manager, and these days, honestly, getting the buy-in from a lot of the players, I think makes such a difference. You saw it with the core squad at Arsenal. I think that was a time when Arsenal really started to kick on, was when obviously got rid of the players that weren't necessarily bought in, stuck with the players that were like really bought into Arteta's way of playing and believed in him as a manager, and you see the impact. So obviously very early days for Chelsea, but they're already saying things in a glowing fashion about Xabi Alonso. So, and you saw what happened at Leverkusen with the team that was also underperforming. I think they almost got relegated, right? The season that he joined. So Chelsea weren't quite that bad, but I think he can help them. I realize now I also didn't cover the player of the season for the lads that weren't here. So quickly before we move on, Ayo went for Saka for player of the season. Kem went for Declan Rice for player of the season, and Nash went for Bruno Fernandes. So yeah, just to make sure we drop that in so we can look back at the predictions at the end of the season. All right, top 8. I'll start first on this one. Oh wait, no, top 5. The other lads. So Ayo went Chelsea, City, Spurs, United. Kem went Liverpool, City, Chelsea, United. And then Nash went City, United, Chelsea, Liverpool. So just various different versions. Some of us have Spurs in there, some of us don't. All right, top 8. So I've gone Forest to finish in 6th, Villa to finish in 7th, and Spurs to finish in 8th. So my Forest shout, most likely to be gas, but I'm going for it anyway. Ollie Glasner, man. I know it's probably going to end up blowing up, and Greek Pavarotti's going to sack him at some point. But I think until then, they're going to do well. And I like the signings. I think he's going to be able to get them playing really effective football. Chris Wood maybe scoring some goals. That Brazilian striker they've got up top as well. I think they're going to be dangerous, and I think they'll bounce back from last season with the signings. They're obviously not in Europe now. They can concentrate on just the league. So I think they're going to have a really, really strong season and just missed out on the Champions League. Villa is the only one that I'm a little bit unsure about. Seeing all the players that they're selling, seeing some of the players they're buying. Garnacho stinks. I don't know how he's going to make that one work. So that's my worry for Villa on there. The Spurs one is maybe the controversial one. I think they're not going to just jump, in my mind, from 17th all the way up to, I don't know, Champions League or 6th, 7th. I think they're gonna scrape Europe. They're going to be in the Conference League. They'll get a chance to win another trophy. And I think De Zerbi will just about stick around for that. So that's my shouts for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Razor, what's your predictions for 6th, 7th, and 8th?
I've gone Spurs, Villa, and then probably more rogue than your Forest shout, Brentford.
Yeah. Nice.
So yeah, kind of similar thoughts about Spurs and Villa. I think Villa, one thing that Villa aren't right now is poor. They can spend money. They probably will get some bodies in before the transfer deadline. And Emery knows he's embedded there enough and he'll be keeping a core well enough for him to potentially be able to get something out of them in the long run. I don't think Villa necessarily having like a slow start is too problematic for them. I mean, like last season, wasn't it, where they had like the run of games where they didn't score 5 games, 6 games that they didn't score for at the beginning of the season, and then they kind of were able to take off. But yeah, currently where it stands, I think they've got a bit of an uphill climb, having lost some of like their stapled on like sort of first team starters. Seems to be the annual rumor about Emi Martinez going as well. And then, yeah, like in addition to losing some key players, especially like in midfield, I think Onana's injured as well. He's out for a while. So I think Villa's probably one that I'm a bit like, about. But like I said, I think they're definitely going to be able to spend money owing to the fact that they've just sold quite a few players. And yeah, like we both kind of recognized game. They've got like some exciting young talent coming through as well. And then with Brentford, I think Brentford are quite like a reliable side that have been like carving out their own like sort of lane. They've got like a similar sort of level of core in terms of like the season that they had last season and the players that they kept around. I don't think they did too like sort of badly last season. And I think they've got potential to like sort of build on that. I also think like a lot of the sort of teams that they tend to like sort of play around and like scrap it out with, a lot of things have changed there where like some of them are going to be sort of playing in Europe, which might make Brentford kind of the kings of that little portion of the table that they've been sort of inhabiting. Do you know what I mean? And I think like similarly to what we said about like sort of like Arsenal and coming second and then like in motivating players to want to win, I think Brentford have done very well for themselves in like the sort of recent, more modern era. But I think last season was a time when, you know, they got like tantalizingly close to be playing in Europe this season. And I think it's something that they're going to be like really set their sights on.
Yeah, I hear it. It'll be interesting though, isn't it? Because they've got Keith Andrews again. He obviously was up against it last season. I think a lot of us on this pod even had them going down or struggling. And they did the opposite. They were great. They played really unique football, but doing it again is going to be tricky. And I think a lot of people have put concerns on Igor Thiago, right? Thinking he's not going to be quite as effective as last season. So if he does, though, big him up, then I think he's solidified himself as one of the Prem's kind of upper echelon strikers if he can repeat something similar. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Jonty, who have you gone for 6th, 7th, and 8th?
So I went for just a different order of the same thing that you went for, but I went for Villa 6th, Spurs 7th, and Forest 8th. I kind of regret a little bit with Villa just because I realised they're also in the Champions League, right?
Yeah, they are.
So, I mean, they're in the Champions League. They've lost half their team. They don't have or haven't seemingly replaced out a load of their players, like with equal or even quantity-wise the right number of players. So I think it's going to be a struggle for them. But I think the main thing I was just thinking is that they've got, I see them as being ones that are like most capable from like a one game at a time perspective to challenge some of the bigger teams, right? And to get results out of the bigger teams. I mean, I know as an Arsenal fan, they've obviously done that to us, not last season, but seasons before that. They catch up well because Emery, like part of the reason why he's such a good cup manager is because of the fact that he can line up against a team and just win that one-off game. And I think depending on where their priorities lie next season, they have they still have the manager that is capable of doing that. Whereas I look at Spurs, obviously De Zerbi's good in that, but I just don't know if they can do that on a more frequent basis. So I went for Villa first, but I could easily see that them and Spurs swap round. And then Forest, I just went for that just for a lot of the same reasons that you were talking about, but just I didn't think they were going to be able to perform as well as that, right? And I think I don't think they've lost massively. Still managed to have like Key, Morgan Gibbs White and players like that, but they just haven't done like, in my opinion, outstanding business to get them into that kind of top echelon. I think Diamande, to your point, is a good signing. They've made a couple of other like solid signings, but I just don't know if they have the quality in that squad to take that kind of next step. I know that they kind of did it under Nuno a couple of seasons ago, but they even fell off at the back end of that. I do think like the depth of that squad is a challenge for them. And then you've obviously, as you mentioned, always got the potential for the Greek Pavarotti to just explode at any given time and sack the manager. Because if I remember correctly, they were actually quite happy with Vitor Pereira, weren't they?
Yeah.
And then they said, fuck that, you're gone, we're getting someone else in. So you never know. He might, halfway through the season, he says, oh, I like the look of, I don't know, fucking Graham Potter or someone. He's going to bring them in instead and sack off Glasner. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But I think it's between the three of them for those slots.
Yeah, I hear it. Rhys, who's your 6th, 7th, and 8th?
I went Villa, Man United, and Bournemouth in my picks.
You didn't even put Man United fucking 6th.
No, I didn't.
Oh my
Villa.
goodness.
I went Villa. Well, who's a better manager, Unai Emery or Michael Carrick?
Mate, look at their fucking team. How dare you? Don't disrespect me with the manager's chat.
You were just sounding off about their 16-year-old wonder kid, Lukaku.
That's one player. That's one player, bro. You think you're relying on 16-year-old wonder kids? Come on, man.
Yeah, no, I did. I still
fucking
think
Garnacho, bro. They took your fucking Garnacho off you. Come on, man.
Exactly, and we need him to play. We need him to do well so he can play his 10 games, and that means Villa will finish in 6th. Yeah, listen, it could have gone either way in my head. I can't lie; these were a bit rushed. But, I think in all. Villa they've still got a good team, and I think Unai Emery is good at kind of getting the best out of the players he's got. Manzambi is going to be a good player. I think, to be fair, I did see that they lost Conser and they was going for that Harvard Bellis, so that's quite a downgrade. Now that I think about it, yeah, all right, I might have gone early there.
Saxophone horns are going.
Yeah, I might have to just die on that hill today. But yeah, I think it could happen. Villa are a good team, and yeah.
They still might get Nico Jackson, right? They might get Nico Jackson.
Yes.
That's a good striker right there.
Top striker, top Premier League striker, lads. 15 to 20 goals a season, he'll get you. So
5 red cards as well.
That sounds like a salesman now for Blueco. But yeah, I think, and then Bournemouth, I think they've had a couple of quality signings. I think they got that at Antonio Silva as well.
Yeah,
I think that Marco Rosa, I think he's not that much of a different style of manager to Andoni Iraola, and I think they did look well. They did look quite well pre-season. They got a few good results. Absolutely slapped Genoa off the park. I know it's Genoa, but I just think they might have a lot of confidence, maybe going into the start of the season. So yeah, I've gone for Bournemouth as well.
Yeah, I want Bournemouth to do well. I'm less keen on Rosa, but I hear it. I would like them to do well. All right, the rest of the lads. Io's gone Villa, Liverpool, and Brentford for his 6th to 8th. Kem has gone Spurs, Everton, and Brentford as well. Mad amount of Brentford shouts. And Nash has gone for Villa, Spurs, and Palace. All right, Palace. That's interesting. All right, let's go on to relegation. So my bad for forgetting that, lads. But yeah, Johns, I'm assuming from your message in the group chat that you would go Coventry, Ipswich Hull.
Yes, but I'd like to swap out Coventry, for the sake of loyalty. And I'm going to put a really big shout in here, and I'm going to say Newcastle. The nightmare, my friends, the nightmare is not over yet. Wouldn't the cherry on top just be that they get fucking relegated? And it just puts the nail in the coffin. They're back to sportsdirect.com. They're back to Mike Ashley settings. Someone sells them off to someone random for a couple of 100 million, and the dream is all over.
Don't think it's that crazy, but they might just survive based on how crap some of the other teams are. That might be their surviving factor. But I hear it. I think if they don't check their mirrors, they're in for a long season. And I'm not sold on that. What's he called? Jassel or something? Whatever that manager's called. Yeah. I'm not sure about him, man. He kind of looks like he's walking down a catwalk with his turtleneck and all that stuff. I'm not buying it, man. So yeah, they could be in trouble. All right. Razor, what's your call for relegation?
I had Newcastle, if I did the whole league, in 17th. So narrowly avoiding the same predicament as Jonty. because I'm sending. I left Cov after 1 year. Didn't like it, and as a result, I'll be relegating them along with Ipswich and Hull. I don't feel like they got the juice. I think they are just going to get rolled over a lot of times by a lot of teams, and nice little like sort of field trip for their fans. They get a season around the big dogs, and then back to the championship with you. So
if they're in a relegation scrap with Newcastle, we need to loan them back Gyökeres, whatever's left of the season, and just see if he can run it back.
They're definitely going down. Then.
Coventry have got some nice kits, but yeah, it's not going to save you. You're not getting saved. I don't think they're getting saved. Yeah, sorry.
All right, fair enough. So you've gone the 3 promoted sides to go right back down. Okay, fair enough. Rhys, who are your 3 relegation predictions?
Ipswich, Hull, and I went Leeds because I could never relegate. Ask me why Leeds, and I'll tell you I don't know right now. Second season syndrome, maybe. Yeah, I think Hull. I think they were very lucky to even get promoted. They were probably the worst out of the top 4 sides in that playoff running, and I think they benefited off all the shitstorm that was going on before the game of kicking Southampton out. So I don't know. Even though they've bought quite a few players, Hull have, but I just don't think it would save them. Ipswich, same thing. Gary O'Neill as well. I think, I think the change of manager will. I don't think that's going to help. So I just and obviously like Leeds, because it's Leeds, isn't it? Fuck Leeds. As a Chelsea fan, I can say that. I can say that as a Chelsea fan.
Don't worry. As a United fan, I can say that too. It's all good.
Yeah.
I hear you. All right. So you've gone Hull, Ipswich, Leeds. So Leeds are the shout out of the non-promoted teams to go down. So I've kind of gone similar to you, man. But I've gone Hull are going to finish bottom. I saw some stats about them last season, and that apparently they should have finished like in the bottom half of the table, even for the championship, based on how they performed. So fuck knows how they got promoted with them stats. I love my stats and that. So yeah, Hull are definitely heading down. Coventry, opposite to Rhys, 100% because of Lampard. Shit manager, he's going down. No offense to Coventry whatsoever, and then my shout is Fulham, lads. I think Fulham are going down, man. I'm not liking this. Arbeloa's crap.
Arbeloa, yeah.
Don't know why they got him. The signings are rogue. They got a bunch of Real Madrid youngsters. That Garcia looks okay, but I don't know if Premier League is a shout for him. Maybe he should have gone Bundesliga or Portugal or something like that. And you know what? I've got love for Fulham. I've gone to watch a few matches there. This is not against Fulham. I liked them with Silva. I liked a lot of the players they had before, but I don't like these moves. I don't like any of it. I don't like the players. I don't like the manager. It reeks. So I think Fulham are gonna have a stinker and go down alongside Coventry and Hull. As soon as I saw the Arbeloa links, I was like, no, they needed to go and get a proper manager with a little bit of experience in the Prem. Because even if you think about Marco Silva, he had some experience, not all of it good at teams in the Prem, but at least he know what was going on. Arbeloa, nah, man. I don't know what happened with that. I don't know if they just went for him because Real Madrid playing white and Fulham playing white, but stinks. Fulham going down to me. So, Razor, you looking perplexed? Not buying it?
I think this is going to make a great clip at some point in the season. You're either going to look clairvoyant or like you've been participating in controlled substances. I think I think with the players that Fulham have and the size of the club and the pool that they have, like beyond like the Premier League in terms of the size and the history of the club. I think if Arbeloa stinks out the gaff, they're going to get rid of him. They're not going to sit in their own muck and wait till they get relegated.
It's too nice of a kit to go down. I know that's a stupid.
I agree with that.
It's too nice of a kit. We can't let them go down.
Hey, I agree. I love the Fulham kits. I said it in one of our chats that someone in Adidas loves them. But nah, I don't want them to go down. But these signings, this manager, it stinks, guys. This guy's managed no one except Real Madrid B, and coming into like manage Real Madrid last season, where he was literally just apologizing every week for their shit results. Like, he's not going to do anything with Fulham. This was a stinky move. And yeah, Iwobi, Bassi, and those lot are going to be hating it after. Give it just 5 or 6 weeks. And yeah, you're not going to see the vibes in the change room. It's going to just be, sad times in Fulham, man. So that's the shout. Like Razor said, I'm going to look like a genius or an absolute plonker at the end, but, what's new? All right, the rest of the lads, Io's gone for Ipswich, Hull, and Everton. That's his rogue shout. Kem has gone Ipswich, Hull, and Forest. Nash has gone Ipswich, Leeds, and Forest. So yeah, quite a lot of different shouts there. But actually, surprisingly, I was expecting a lot of people to go for the same thing that Razor went with. I'm quite shocked, actually, that a lot of people didn't just go for the 3 to come up, to go straight down. But yeah.
They want to be hipsters. They want to be different.
Yeah.
We shall see.
I just wanted to stick a pin on Newcastle. It's more of a joke pick.
Yeah, I hear it. But Everton's one for Io is interesting. All right, let's go on to the game week 1 predictions then. That's all of our season predictions done. Obviously, we're starting a new prediction league, so we don't have anyone at the top or anyone at the bottom that isn't alphabetical order. So that does benefit me on this, because I'll get to go first every time. But we're going to do the same teams as last season, except we're not going to do Spurs this year because why would we? So we're going to predict Arsenal, Man United, Man City, Liverpool, and Chelsea results this season. We'll start off with Arsenal, the first game tomorrow against Coventry. I've gone 3-0. I think you're going to slap them up. It's going to be easy at home. If it was away, it might be slightly trickier, but yeah, I can't see anything but an Arsenal win in this at home. Should be straightforward. Io's gone 3-1. Jonty, what's your prediction for this one? Arsenal, Coventry.
3-0. Arsenal.
Right, you've also gone 3-0. Kem's gone 2-0 Arsenal. Nash has also gone 2-0 Arsenal. Razor, what's your prediction in this one? Arsenal, Coventry.
4-0, and you lot ain't saying it with chest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 4-0. All right, 4-0. Rhys, what's your prediction in this one? Arsenal, Coventry.
The prediction league champion has gone for 3-1 Arsenal.
You are the champion from last year.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Fair enough. All right, so you got 3-1. All right, so everyone's going Arsenal win. Bunch of different results, but we're all going for a comprehensive win. All right, Hull City against Man United, which is the 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. I've gone 3-1 United. Io's gone 2-1 United. Johns, what's your prediction in this one? Hull against United.
2-0 United.
2-0. Kem's gone 2-1 Man United. Nash has gone 3-0 Man United. Razor, what's your prediction in this one?
I have gone 3-1 Manchester United.
Right, 3-1. Rhys, what's your prediction for this one?
2-1 Man United.
Right, we've all gone United win. Man City, Bournemouth. This one should be interesting. I've gone 2-1 Man City. I think they're just about going to nick it and give Maresca a win on his first game, official game. I've gone 2-2 draw. John, what's your prediction in this one?
I also went 2-1 Man City.
Right, 2-1 Man City. Kem's also gone 2-2 draw. Nash has gone 1-1 draw. Razor, what's your prediction in this one?
I've gone 3-2 to Manchester City.
All right, 3-2. Rhys, what's your prediction? Man City, Bournemouth?
2-1 City.
All right, 2-1. All right, so we've got some draws and some narrow Man City wins in that one. Newcastle versus Liverpool. I've gone 1-1 draw. Io's also gone 1-1 draw. Jonty, what's your prediction in this one?
2-1 Liverpool.
All right, 2-1 Liverpool. Kem's also gone 2-1 Liverpool. Nash has gone 1-1 draw. Razor, what's your prediction in this one?
2-1 Liverpool.
All right, 2-1 Liverpool. Rhys, what's your prediction for this game?
I went 2-2.
All right, 2-2. So again, draws and narrow Liverpool wins for that one. And then the last game, I've gone Chelsea to win 2-0 at Fulham. Io's gone 2-2 draw. Jonty, what's your prediction in this one?
2-1 Chelsea.
Right, 2-1 Chelsea. Kem's gone 3-1 Chelsea, and Nash has gone 2-1 Chelsea. Razor, what's your prediction in this one?
3-1 Chelsea. Starting what is apparently Fulham's relegation run, according to you.
It is, man. I'm telling you, it's going to be dark times for them. Rhys, what's your prediction in this one? Fulham versus Chelsea. West London derby as well.
And the battle of the Real Madrid rejects. The last two managers. 3-1. Uncle Xabi will show Arbeloa who was the superior Real Madrid manager.
Come on, man. That's not even, it shouldn't be up for debate. He had like a 70% win rate. It was a diabolical decision to sack him.
Well, we got to make sure. We got to make sure. We gotta make sure.
Well, because you lost the Liam Rossini derby, so now you've got to get them back on with the Real Madrid derby.
Yeah, we got to leave with something, man.
All right, that's all the predictions in. All right, we'll be back next week to obviously look back at Premier League game week 1 and look at our predictions. Go on.
Can we just do one thing just between the four of us? Can we quickly predict who you think will be the first manager sacked?
Oh, all right.
This is a tricky one, I know. That I wanted to quickly do it. I'll go with. I'll let you all have a bit of time to think. I'm going to go first. It's a tough one, but I'm going to unfortunately have to go with Michael Carrick.
So you think we're going to finish top 4 somehow with another swap of managers?
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, I'm not sure about that one. I'd go Maresca before Carrick.
It's a big gamble. Like Maresca could get it. Maresca could get it in the neck. I also could see like one of the. For some reason, maybe it's just because I love laughing at Frank Lampard, but I can see Frank Lampard doing really bad. I'm going to go with Glasner because Glasner doesn't like shutting his mouth, and allegedly, Mr. Manonakis has ways of keeping people quiet. You know what I'm saying? So, I feel a little bit concerned for my guy Oli at the City Ground. Is that what it's called? The City Ground?
Yeah,
that's what their ground's called, isn't it? Yeah, just find my friends on, share it with your loved ones. Maybe get like a little personal alarm. Don't do any late night press conferences. And hopefully, if it is you getting sacked is all you get, Mr. Glasner. Allegedly.
All right, so you've got Carrick and Glasner. I think I've worked out. I'm gonna go David Moyes. I think, I don't know. I've read and seen stuff from the Everton fan base where they seem to be agitated already. I don't really understand it because there's been no football's been played other than some friendlies, and they just, all the stuff that the West Ham fans said about Moyes.
Same stuff.
I feel like it. Yeah, I feel like it's starting already, which is really harsh on him because. Before he was there, they were literally battling relegation every single time, every single season for years and years and years. Okay, he doesn't play like some amazing brand of football. But what do you expect? It's David Moyes, man. He's just let him do his business. And then, you know, once he hasn't been there long enough for them to be this upset already. But yeah, I think it's gonna, you know, they're vocal, the Scousers, so I think they're gonna put a lot of pressure on him, and I don't even think they need to do diabolically for him to get the sack. I just think if they're like kind of flirting with lower mid-table, and the fans are going berserk, yeah, I think it'll be too much for poor old Moisey, which is mad harsh, by the way, because look what's happened to West Ham since he left. And I'm not going to lie, it could easily happen to Everton as well if they do that. But I think they don't know what side their bread's buttered on. So I think they're gonna get him out of it. So yeah,
Moyes back to United, yeah, round 2.
Well, yeah, based on your prediction, yeah, maybe, yeah.
When Carrick gets the sack, they're going to take Moisey, and then Carrick will go to Coventry when Lampard gets sacked.
Man. Yeah, Lampard's left without a job. And on that one, Rhys, who's your first manager to get sacked?
Oh, this Lampard hate. I'll be doing some clipping of your comments, Razor. When they win on Friday.
I think you're safer with the Lacroix shouts than you are with the Lampard shout. To be honest with you, I think it might be the one that gets clipped on this one.
I'm surprised. These are the clips you're worrying about. I thought you would have just been grateful that nobody said Alonso.
Could never. He's manager, not a head coach.
Chelsea love a manager firing.
Nah, not Uncle Jabby, man. He's
we shall see.
Yeah. Do you know who I'm gonna go for? Is it Pierre Sage from Crystal Palace?
Yeah.
I say that because I think they're in the Europa League this year. I don't think they've strengthened that much in terms of reinforcements. They've lost a talisman manager in Glasner, who even when he hated the place, he still managed to pull out a trophy. And I just think that change might be a bit too drastic for Crystal Palace. So I think the first few games of the season, they might end up in trouble. And then it might, lead to him maybe going quicker than you might think. But yeah, I'd probably go Palace, PSH.
Yeah, I hear it, man. I think that's a decent shout. I think they're I saw stuff linking Ismail Assar with Galatasaray. Like, if they keep selling the players that are their better ones and keep replacing them with people that aren't quite at that level, yeah, this could be Ronald. Was it Frank de Boer? Ronald de Boer? One of the de Boers when they fucked it up. So, yeah, it could get spooky for them. So they need to be careful. I hear it. Okay, so we've ended on a bit of a sour note talking about the managers getting sacked, but yeah, that's our little prediction there. All right, so next week we'll review obviously game week 1, and we'll also look ahead to game week 2. But that's our season predictions. I think in a few weeks' time we'll also do a transfer grades once the window's actually shut. I think it's harsh doing it now since there's so much transfer business. It looks like our clubs have waited till the end of the season to do. So that will be to come in the coming weeks. But yeah, before we drop off, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, drop us a like, leave a comment, and share the video. And also, if you're listening on the audio podcasting platforms, please follow us, leave a 5-star review. All that helps grow the pod. And thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next week. Take care, everyone.
In a bit.